A very good morning and thanks for tuning into the breakfast news on Rajya Sabha television, the perfect show to kickstart your day, bringing you the top national, international, sports and business news. My name is Aishwarya and these are this morning's headlines. Exporters of terror will get a fitting response, says Prime Minister Modi to question on India's 2016 surgical strikes. During Global Interactive event in London last night, says Indians have become more aspirational as they know his government will deliver. India to engage with its Commonwealth partners to find a way to develop it as a new trade and cooperation bloc on the lines of ASEAN. Prime Minister Modi to join heads of states of the 52-member bloc at the Chogam Summit in London today. Over 80% of ATMs operating normally, says government. Adds the situation fast improving after cash crunch reported from several states. Congress alleges current situation a result of Prime Minister's demonetization move. Salaried class warned against fudging income tax returns for tax benefits. Department releases advisory, says employers will be informed about such violators. And a 6-decade-old Castro rule in Cuba to end as Raul Castro expected to step down as president. Vice President Miguel Diaz-Canel likely to take charge after Communist Party vote today. Our top story this morning, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a global interaction at the Central Hall of Westminster in London last night.
भारत, आज यहाँ हम सब अपने भारत से मिलने आए हैं, उससे बात करने आए हैं। भारत भी दुनिया को कुछ बताने आया है।
The event Bharat Ki Baat Sabke Saath saw the Prime Minister answer questions directed at him from various parts of the world. The questions were selected prior to the program and so were the people who attended the event. Chairman of the Central Board of Film Certification, Prasoon Joshi, posed questions to the Prime Minister over an array of questions.
और हम जब कर रहे पहले एक दिन में जितने रास्ते बनते थे।
For the Right Honourable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi.
And at the event, the Prime Minister answered a question on the surgical strikes carried out against Pakistan in 2016. Prime Minister asserted that India will not tolerate those who like to export terror.
देखिए, सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक भारत का हजारों वर्ष का इतिहास है। किसी भी युग में भारत ने किसी की भी जमीन हड़पने का प्रयास नहीं किया है। आज भी यूएन का जो पीस कीपिंग फोर्स है, उस पीस कीपिंग फोर्स में सबसे ज्यादा कंट्रीब्यूशन करने वाला कोई देश जो है, उसमें एक गौरवपूर्ण रूप से हिंदुस्तान का नाम दिया जाता है। जब हिंदुस्तान के लोग पीस कीपिंग फोर्स में जाकर के दुनिया के अलग अलग देशों में अपनी सेवाएं देते हैं, तो भारत का चरित्र अजय रहने का है, विजयी रहने का है, लेकिन किसी के हक को छीनना ये भारत का चरित्र नहीं है। लेकिन जब कोई टेररिज्म एक्सपोर्ट करने का उद्योग बना करके बैठा हो, मेरे देश के निर्दोष नागरिकों को मौत के घाट उतार दिया जाता हो, युद्ध लड़ने की ताकत नहीं है, पीठ पर वार करने के प्रयास होते हो, तो ये मोदी है। उसी भाषा में जवाब देना जानता है। हमारे जवानों को टेंट में सोए हुए थे रात को, कुछ बुद्धि लाकर के उनको मौत के घाट उतार दे। आप में से कोई चाहेगा मैं चुप रहूं? क्या उनको ईंट का जवाब पत्थर से देना चाहिए कि नहीं देना चाहिए? और इसलिए सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक किया। और मुझे मेरी सेना पे गर्व है, मेरे जवानों पे गर्व है। जो योजना बनी थी उसको 100% तस्सू भर गलती किए बिना उन्होंने इंप्लीमेंट किया और सूर्योदय होने से पहले सब वापस लौट के आ गए। तो सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक ये भारत के वीरों का तो पराक्रम था ही था, लेकिन टेररिज्म एक्सपोर्ट करने वालों को पता होना चाहिए कि अब हिंदुस्तान बदल चुका है।
And the Prime Minister also answered a question on growing aspirations of the Indians. He said that Indians are demanding more under the BJP-led government at the centre. And the PM also took a dig at the previous governments, saying that their governance made citizens dependent on the state. But now people have more expectation from the state as they know that this government will deliver. The Prime Minister said that days of incremental change are over.
जिस पल संतोष का भाव पैदा हो जाता है, बहुत हो गया, चलो यार इसी से गुजारा कर लेंगे, तो जिंदगी कभी आगे बढ़ती नहीं है। हर आयु में, हर युग में, हर अवस्था में कुछ न कुछ नया करने का, नया पाने का मकसद गति देता है, वरना तो मैं समझता हूं जिंदगी रुक जाती है। और अगर कोई कहता है कि बेसब्री बुरी चीज है, तो मैं समझता हूं कि अब वो बूढ़े हो चुके हैं। अगर आज देश मुझसे ज्यादा अपेक्षा रखता है, इसलिए रखता है कि उनको भरोसा है यार आज नहीं तो कल उसके दिमाग में भर दो, कभी तो करके रहेगा ये। तो मैं समझता हूं कि, और ये बात सही है कि देश ने कभी सोचा नहीं था कि ये देश इतनी तेज गति से काम कर सकता है। वरना मान लिया था पहले इंक्रीमेंटल चेंज हो जाए तो भी संतोष हो जाता था, यार चलो यार हो गया। अब उसको नहीं होता है, उसको लगता है अरे साहब, और हम जब कर रहे हैं, पहले एक दिन में जितने रास्ते बनते थे आज करीब करीब 3 गुना हम बना रहे हैं। पहले जितना काम एक दिन में होता था वो आज 3 गुना होने लगा। रेल की पटरी डालनी हो, रेल की डबल लाइन करनी हो, सोलर एनर्जी लगानी हो, टॉयलेट बनाने का काम हो, हर चीज में। और इसलिए स्वाभाविक है कि देशवासियों को अपेक्षा है, क्योंकि भरोसा है।
And at the event, the Prime Minister also spoke about the recent rape incidents in the country. He said rape is a rape and it should not be politicized. He added that such incidents are a cause of shame for the country.
आप मुझे कल्पना कर सकते हैं जब किसी छोटी बालिका पर बलात्कार होता है, कितनी दर्दनाक घटना है जी। लेकिन क्या हम ये कहेंगे कि तुम्हारी सरकार में इतने होते थे, मेरी सरकार में इतने होते हैं? मैं समझता हूं इससे बड़ा गलत रास्ता नहीं हो सकता है। बलात्कार बलात्कार होता है। एक बेटी के साथ ये अत्याचार कैसे सहन कर सकते हैं? और इसलिए मैंने लाल किले पर से एक नए तरीके से इस विषय को प्रस्तुत किया था। मैंने कहा अगर बेटी शाम को देर से आती है तो हर माँ बाप पूछते कहाँ गई थी, क्यों गई थी, किसको मिली थी। फोन पे बात करते माँ देखते, हे बात बंद करो, किससे बात करते, किसके बात करते। अरे बेटियों को तो सब पूछ रहे हो, कभी बेटों को तो पूछो कहाँ गए थे। ये बात मैंने लाल किले से कही थी और मैं मानता हूं ये बुराई समाज की है, व्यक्ति की है, विकृति है, सब होने के बावजूद भी देश के लिए चिंता का विषय है। और ये पाप करने वाला किसी का तो बेटा है, उसके घर में भी तो मां है।
And after the event, our correspondent Akhilesh Sumana spoke to some of the participants at the event who were chosen to listen to the Prime Minister and pose questions to him.
What a fantastic speech he's made. He's promoting India like nobody has ever done. He's not interested in his own progression or name. He doesn't want his own name anywhere. He just wants to progress the population of India and the name of India in the world. And that's what he's achieving all the way.
India's future is orange, bright. That's all I can say. It's absolutely brilliant country. And with Modi, I think the future is unlimited. We will soon take over China as a world leader.
I want to tell that it is so difficult to even manage a family by itself. So to manage a country of 130 crore people, it's not an easy job. I only want people to be prudent, think within yourself and cooperate.
From his speech, I did gather a lot of progress in India in his tenure, which is good. I'm very glad about the sanitation that he's talking about, the Clean Bharat Yojana, the electricity reaching the grassroots level, villages where it was not before. I was very impressed by his sense of humor as well.
And earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and British Prime Minister Theresa May on Wednesday held fruitful discussions on various aspects of the India-UK relations, including trade and investment, and issues like counter-terrorism, radicalization and online extremism. After their talks, a joint trade review was held and several MOUs were also signed. Here is a review.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi had a packed day of engagements in London on Wednesday. As PM Modi arrived at 10 Downing Street for a breakfast meeting, he was greeted with a customary handshake by British Prime Minister Theresa May, welcoming him to London. This was followed by bilateral talks where Prime Minister Modi assured his British counterpart that the UK's withdrawal from the European Union offers opportunity to further increase bilateral trade ties. This was followed by the announcement that €1 billion worth of new deals will be signed after the UK leaves the European Union.
Both Prime Ministers were satisfied that a joint trade review had been held, and Prime Minister May spoke of the keenness of the United Kingdom to have an FTA or at least to begin FTA negotiations, free trade agreement negotiations with India. Prime Minister said that we are ready to do so, and Prime Minister also emphasized that it needs to be a balanced agreement and it needs to be an agreement which has mutual benefit in it. The Prime Minister of Great Britain assured our Prime Minister that during this implementation period, the period between the UK leaving the European Union and that is until the end of 2020, Indian companies would continue to enjoy the same benefits as before Brexit.
Apart from trade ties, terrorism also figured prominently in talks. The two leaders agreed to strengthen cooperation to take decisive actions against globally proscribed terrorists and terror entities, including Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Hizbul Mujahideen, Haqqani Network, Al-Qaeda, Islamic State and their affiliates, and that action needs to be taken to disrupt terrorist networks, their financing and movement. Modi and May reflected on the progress made on bilateral defence and security cooperation since the British Prime Minister's visit to India in 2016 and the agreement to a number of defence capability partnerships in key strategic areas with closer military-to-military ties.
The Prime Minister described extremism, radicalism, terrorism as a rising challenge for both countries and for countries across the globe, and of the need to strengthen the already good cooperation between the two countries. And it was agreed that one area where we need to enhance cooperation substantially is in the cyber security field.
During their talks, India and UK also called for a secure, free, open, inclusive and prosperous Indo-Pacific amidst China flexing its military muscles in the strategically vital region. The two leaders also discussed cooperation on legal matters, which also covered extradition matters. Absconding businessman Vijay Mallya's extradition figured in the talks between PM Modi and May.
The issue of economic offenders was also raised, and this was among a number of consular issues that were raised. I've already covered the issue of mobility of professionals and students and the like. And views were also exchanged on current international and multilateral issues.
Apart from issues of mutual interest, PM Modi and Theresa May also discussed key international issues, including the attack in Salisbury on former Russian double agent Sergei Skripal and the situation in Syria in the aftermath of alleged use of chemical weapons there. After their talks, India and Britain signed agreements in several sectors, including UK-India cyber relationship, Ganga rejuvenation, sustainable urban development and safe nuclear energy use for peaceful purpose, among others. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And after giving the last summit at Malta in 2015, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to attend the two-day 25th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting that begins today in London. Prime Minister Modi will join heads of state from countries of the 52-member bloc in London. It is expected that India, along with the UK, will take a leading role in discussing ways to revamp the organisation that is grappling with questions about its relevance. The meeting will take place in London. It will look at the present challenges faced by the 52-member grouping. The meet will focus on peace, prosperity, security, trade and investment. Discussion on strengthening cooperation in the fight against global terrorism, organised crime and cybercrime and climate change are also expected to take place. Several bilateral agreements could also result from the meetings on the sidelines of the summit. It is after 20 years that the UK is hosting this meet, and it is the first time that Prime Minister Modi will be attending the summit and the first time since 2009 that any Indian Prime Minister is participating in the CHOGM summit. And our Foreign Affairs editor Akhilesh Suman is now joining us live from London. Akhilesh, this is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's first CHOGM meet. So tell us about the Prime Minister's agenda for the Commonwealth Summit today.
Yes, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the Commonwealth Summit today, and he is going to address the summit in a way that India wants to contribute to the development of member nations. And you know that before addressing the Commonwealth Summit, he also met British Prime Minister Theresa May, and both have strategized how to handle the Commonwealth, because they don't want Commonwealth to become another redundant organization in the world. They want to make it vibrant, and they want to make it an organization that should encourage participant nations to cooperate with each other, to think for development and also shun terrorism. They want that there should be no radicalization in the countries, and they also want that whatever technical know-how is there among the members countries, whatever finance is there among the member countries, they should share, so that the old bonding of the Commonwealth nations should remain intact. And it is coming at the time of, that trade war is going on between America and China, and it will not stop there. Every country is trying to become protectionist. And in this situation, countries like India and other developing nations, and also the least developed nations, they are all part of the Commonwealth. And it is very diverse, that conglomeration. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi, I think, is going to speak about how India can contribute and how India can help Commonwealth to become a very effective organization in coming days. And I think that after the summit is over, there will be planning meeting, there will be follow-up. And what I am going to get and what I am being told by the officials of External Affairs Ministry, that I think there will be an action plan, and action plan will be decided in every month, right from technology to the trade, to the financial assistance, and also some counter-terrorism measures.
All right. Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for all those updates there from London. So the Commonwealth Summit will be formally opened by Queen Elizabeth at 10 a.m. local time. This will be followed by the official welcome of the leaders of the 52-member bloc by Theresa May. Thank you so much, Akhilesh. We'll keep coming back to you for more on this story. And now let's bring you all the news from the upcoming assembly elections in Karnataka. Well, as the elections are nearing in Karnataka, all the political parties in the fray, the BJP, Congress and JDS are crisscrossing the state to gather maximum momentum. BJP President Amit Shah is himself campaigning for the party. While addressing a gathering in Bengaluru on Wednesday, Amit Shah attacked the Congress over its remarks on saffron terrorism. He also took a dig at the Siddaramaiah government in the state on the issue of corruption. And earlier in the day, Shah garlanded the statue of Lord Basaveshwara on the occasion of Basava Jayanti. Shah, who is on a two-day visit to the state, among his programs today is an interaction with the trade and industry leaders in Bengaluru.
एक महान हिंदू संस्कृति जो लाखों सालों से दुनिया को सभ्यता का संदेश देती है, दुनिया को शांति का संदेश देती है, दुनिया को संस्कार का संदेश देती है, उसको टेररिज्म के साथ जोड़ने का पाप एक कांग्रेस पार्टी ने किया है। और आज मैं कार्यकर्ता सम्मेलन में कांग्रेस पार्टी के राहुल गांधी, कांग्रेस पार्टी के अध्यक्ष को पूछना चाहता हूं कि आप माफी मांगना चाहते हो या कर्नाटक की जनता आपसे माफी मंगाए? आप क्या चाहते हो वो तय कर लो।
Well, BJP's state unit chief B.S. Yediyurappa will file his nomination from his constituency Shikaripura in Shivamoga district today. Meanwhile, resentment over ticket distribution in Karnataka continues, with the Congress leaders and the workers holding protests in the state. Various senior party leaders expressed their disappointment over the manner in which the tickets were distributed. At many places, party workers held protests outside the party offices. Meanwhile, the party is trying to bring everyone on board.
This is the matter with the party high command and the PCC president. The Congress party will take a decision. There are some issues which has been thrown in the light of the party high command, and they are just examining the issue.
And now an update on the ATMs cash crunch, and government sources have said that the cash position across the country is improving fast, with over 80% of the 2.2 lakh ATMs operating normally now. An unusual spurt in demand for currency had led to many ATMs and banks running out of cash in Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and poll-bound Karnataka and some other states as well, even as the government and the RBI assured the public that there was no currency shortage. On an average, 10 to 12% of the ATMs at a given point of time are usually under maintenance due to one or the other reason and remain out of service. So during normal days, 88% of the ATMs are working and the rest are under maintenance. Now, commenting on the cash crunch, a former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram said that it could be a sign of a loss of confidence in the banking system because of the bank scams, and also claimed that the ghosts of demonetization have come back to haunt the government and the RBI. Chidambaram also blamed the RBI of miscalculating the cash situation to deal with the post-harvest season. And on to the other top story of the day. The Income Tax Department has warned salaried taxpayers against any underreporting income or inflating deductions or exemptions while filing their income tax returns. In an advisory uploaded on the e-filing website on Wednesday, the Tax Department cautioned salaried taxpayers that such underreporting or inflating deductions or exemptions will be punishable under the Income Tax Act. The advisory follows recent reports of employees of several well-known companies fraudulently claiming income tax refunds by misreporting income via tax intermediaries. When Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu addressed the valedictory session at the Central Agricultural University in Imphal on Wednesday. It was a one-day state-level workshop on biodiversity and sustainable agriculture for the doubling of farmers' income. And while addressing the event, the Vice President said that water conservation is crucial for sustainable agriculture and said that there is an urgent need to conserve resources. He said that agriculture sector needs a big boost in India and efforts are needed to make it sustainable, economical and attractive. He said that we need to focus on the farmers' incomes as well as on the farm productivity and long-term environmental sustainability. He also added that apart from intensification of agriculture, we must go in for greater diversification. He said that farmers should be encouraged to go in for a greater variety of alternative crops like high-value fruits, vegetables and medicinal plants. And on to some other news. The Law Commission on Wednesday said that the Board of Control for Cricket in India should be brought under the ambit of the Information Law. The Law Commission noted that the BCCI falls under the definition of a public authority. In its report to the Union Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad, the Law Commission put forth 4 recommendations regarding the BCCI, noting the opacity and non-accountability of the board's functioning. The report stated that the BCCI exercised state-like powers that adversely affected the sport. In July 2016, the Supreme Court had asked the Commission to recommend whether the Cricket Board can be brought under the Right of Information Act. That's all in this edition of News, but news and updates continue on your channel. Thanks for watching.